Hey, my YouTube family. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And as always, let's jump right into it. This is the weekly watch list for April 12th, 2021. And what we're looking at, and this is kind of like a special thing I'm doing for anybody who's watching this week. These are my weekly trade zones, okay? These are support and resistance levels. So if you guys want to write them down, take a screenshot and pause it, write them down. They're free for this 1 week if you're watching this video. But you could check out my website at daytradingfearless.com. Sign up. I offer these. They're $50 for a lifetime subscription, one-time payment. I've been doing these for the past 6+ years, consistent every week. So these are the levels, and also the gaps and also VPOCs. So if we keep going up, you can look for where price potentially could pause. As we come down, it'll give you support levels to the downside. Okay, so hopefully these will help you guys this week in your trading. But couple things, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit this week. If you saw my video I did this past midweek, I was talking about poor market structure. Okay, what happened was we really didn't see, we only saw this and there was nothing above. And I kept saying on Wednesday evening, hey, this market has very poor structure. I'm bullish going into the week. Well, guess what happened? Or into the end of the week, well, price kind of ran up and we kind of now have a little bit of excess going on. I actually think this market is starting to get very long in the tooth. I think we're going to have a potential down move lower. And the reason I say that is because look at this. This is very poor market structure. We have lots of gaps and lots of VPOCs. VPOCs are virgin points of control where the market profile hasn't been touched yet. Like this on Monday morning, if we open up here, this will be a VPOC, right? Point of control that hasn't been touched yet. And we see we have a bunch of them. I won't be surprised if we see about 100 to 120 point drop, at least come back down to this maybe 39.65 level, and we might see that within a couple days. Now, the problem is, where is the top? Well, let's go over and look at our ES chart, okay? And with our ES chart, we kind of broke above on Wednesday. We were stuck. We broke above. We may have a little more room to the upside. It looks like maybe up to maybe the 4170 to 4200 level. And then do we get that big pullback? But we are starting to get excess up here on the market profile. So that's going to be really interesting. So that is going to be my call. Early in the week, I believe we're going to keep moving higher, but then maybe midweek something will happen and we'll have a liquidation, maybe a quick 100-point pullback. Now, the problem is we might be at 4,200 when we have that 100-point pullback, but I would not be surprised if we have a big pullback this week. Now, remember, I'm not saying we will. I'm saying I won't be surprised. I don't want to step in front of a freight train. But if we look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-day reverse waterfall. Okay, it's a lot of higher lows, okay, in a row. Okay, usually you don't see that. And when you do see it, sometimes this is kind of what happens. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Pulled back, failed, and then we had a nice pullback. I'm thinking the same thing. So maybe midweek, we might see a pullback at some point. SPY, same thing. We are definitely breaking above on SPY. We don't have that double trend line like we did on ES's, but We are moving higher. Again, same thing, maybe a pullback, get some excess up here. I would probably be looking around the 400 to 395 level for a pullback. I would love to see that. And I also want to see that for a healthy market. Now, let's take a look at crude oil. Okay, crude oil, nothing. Bear flag still. Can't get out of its own way. Again, if the market falls, maybe it brings crude oil down. So we kind of know what's going on there. So crude oil, really no change. BTC, head and shoulders slanted. I talked about this on my midweek. We have a shoulder, head, shoulder with the neckline. If price reverses and breaks below this trend line, watch out down below. And I drew some fib extensions. So if you want to pause the video, take a screenshot, whatever, and have those levels, these would be support levels on the way down with Bitcoin. Let's take a look at gold. Real quick, gold, I said a potential W pattern. Again, if crude oil starts to fall, if the market falls, maybe crude or gold will start to rise. And then same with a silver. Inverse head and shoulders on silver. Okay, we broke down from this bear flag I talked about. We broke down. Now we have an inverse head and shoulder, neckline, shoulder, head, shoulder. Breakout. We'll see if it could break back up above. Again, we need the market to do the other things. So I had somebody asked me if I could look at a few stocks. So I'm going to make this watch list especially for you. Apple. You want me to look at the FANG, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and NVIDIA. So we're going to look at these. Apple, watch Apple up here. It's starting to break out. It's kind of like, this is kind of what's been helping the market go up. Maybe we get up a little more to the 138 level and then start to pull back. And maybe that's where our market pullback begins. But Apple is pretty strong. I like it to the upside. We do have a gap right here of 128, so keep that in mind. Amazon, okay, same thing. Amazon, nice, kind of working its way back up to these highs. I would probably watch this 3430 level on Amazon. Watch for a potential pause and pullback there. Google, Googl, okay, breaking out to all-time highs, gap and go, lots of gap and goes, okay. Very poor structure on this breakout, so I'd love to see if the market does roll over and Google rolls over, watch this 2138, 2140 level for a potential buy, which I think it could bounce from. I like it there. MSFT, okay, same thing, breaking out. Okay, nice consolidation, maybe up a little higher. Again, watch for these. To keep it simple, wait for price to break right below the previous candle, and that's your telltale to go short, right? Use the reverse waterfall. If you don't know what the waterfall is, just go on through my videos, look for the waterfall, and you will understand it's just pure price action. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait for price to reverse and take out the prior day's low. That's your entry. Your exit would be above that candle. But a lot of times you'll see something like that, like here, we're going up, get short here. Okay, your stop would go above here, and look at this massive move you had. So it's really that simple. And then NVIDIA, NVDA. Okay, for NVIDIA, same exact thing, looks just like Apple. I'd be watching this probably 593 3 level, just these prior highs, 592 level for a touch, and then a pullback on the video. So watch that. I think the overall market is getting tired. I think we have earnings starting to come out, and I wonder if it's show me what you have. And I'm going to go on a quick little rant, okay? And this is why I have a problem with the markets. Okay, we're looking at a 2-year daily chart. This is when the all the pandemic started, right? The market fall back in March and February of last year. Darden, the highest peak when everybody was going into their restaurants, right? Everything was normal. Everything was fine. They were making money hand over fist. We were at 128. Then we had the sell-off, and then over the last year, please tell me how half their restaurants have been closed. They've had to raise debt, and yet their stock just hit $150 a share, and they're still not all open, and you don't have diners going in as much. How are they making more money today than before? Another stock, CZR, Caesars, right? Back during the pandemic, or when all this happened, Caesars was at 69, and I live here in Las Vegas, went down to 7, it just hit 106. Yet Caesars was closed for 3 months. Then when they reopened, they kind of were still paying a lot of their employees. They were also not open at full capacity. Their shows aren't there. The restaurants are open. So please tell me how Caesars is making a valuation case that it's worth $106 or even $96 when we're still not even 100% open. We don't have the conventions. They've spent all this money. They raised debt, all those things, and yet we're way up here. Okay. This is where I'm having a problem with a lot of this. And if we actually go change this to maybe a year or let's say, I want to go monthly. Okay. Over the years, look at this. Do we have divergence, right? On the bigger picture. And you know I'm a big fan of divergence. I think eventually all of this divergence starts to play, right? In DRI, let's see what DRI looks like on this, right? Okay, and I'm only 2 years out, right? And we're kind of seeing the same thing from here to here, right? A double top here, but higher highs. So I think the market's overstretched. I think it's overvalued. I think there's a lot of problems with the overall market. But with that being said, I'm not getting in front of a freight train and saying this is a market top. I'm just saying we may start to go sideways for throughout the summer. And if earnings don't come in as good as they expect, I think a lot of these stocks are going to start to get hit hard. So thank you. Sorry, this was a little long, but as always, thank you for watching. Remember, make sure you check out my website for the trade zones, the weekly trade zones for the E-mini futures at daytradingfearless.com, and also my Patreon page where you can follow along with our portfolio at patreon.com/daytradingfearless. But until next time, we'll talk to you soon.